Deep in the Huddle.
Yo, hey, you back at it again. Season 1,
Episode 5.
Deep in the Huddle with you guys, Nix.
And I'm Messiah.
How was your weekend, man?
Woo. Caught up on that Daredevil. Good season.
Man, I gotta get in that still.
I hope they don't cancel that.
Oh man, Disney about to cancel all that and move it to their streaming site. You know that's about to happen.
They better be.
But yeah, definitely got to catch up on that. I was tied up a little bit of that old Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, I haven't started that because I'm still with Blobs 3, just trying to get comfortable. I haven't played a shooter or really any of video games since we moved. So like, this is kind of.
I mean, Blobs 4, right?
Yeah, I mean Blobs 4. I'm sorry. I played Blobs 3 for so long I can't even remember it's Blobs 4. So I played Blobs 3 for like 2 years. But yeah,
you jumped in that blackout mode yet? The battle royale?
I played the blackout mode in the beta when they dropped that.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah, it's clean. Definitely puts PUBG to shame.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely clean. Not a lot of hitches.
Yeah.
Tell you what though, that Red Dead, man, that's yeah, I saw the 10 out of 10s and everything, and I got probably got about 7-8 hours into it. Man, that game is kind of what I thought this generation of consoles would really be about. I definitely dig it, but enough about the video games. Let's get in
to the football games.
These games, man. Let's get into some of these results. Let's get to these football games in the NFL.
Right.
We had the nice early for y'all that wanted to be the early risers with a cup of coffee and catch that London game. Eagles technically at Jaguars.
Yeah.
I mean, the owner wants to be in London some anyways, even though he did retract his offer. But they were across the pond. Eagles get the win, 24-18. Yeah, I mean, if you had Josh Lambo on your fantasy football team, 4-4, had a nice little 57-yarder for you. Wentz stepped up, did his thing. Obviously, I would say we heard the news. Looks like Jacksonville, some of the people defensively were partying, something around the $5,000 tab or something. Some people were, first it was, some people got arrested. Then it was, well, no, they were just detained. Yeah. Obviously, and there's been some other issues in the locker room after some losses that we know about as well. And I don't know exactly how focused they were on football.
Right. Well, I mean, Jacksonville is a team challenged mentally, performance-wise, and definitely at the QB, the leadership position at the QB. Man, you got problems. And I mean, I remember a couple of weeks ago, and this conversation still is ongoing in the league, but people coming out talking about the QB, and it was, oh my goodness, the sky's falling. How dare that receiver talk about that quarterback that gave us so much? And now we shift to Jacksonville, who's clearly having some of the same issues at that particular position. And, certainly the players aren't really coming out and saying it, but in their responses and, post-game press conferences, I mean, you can tell that that's what they're communicating with certain responses. And it's definitely an issue. Media's making it an issue. And it's just amazing to see the difference between the groundswell with the New York Giants situation versus the Jacksonville situation.
No, I mean, media market's a little different, obviously.
Sure. Yeah,
there's some of that's going to be involved in it. And then, of course, you're talking about the Eli Manning and what he's done in the league. But stop me if you heard this one before. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville Jaguars leading rusher was Blake Bortles with 8 carries, 43 yards.
Oh, yeah.
And again, that's just, if your name's not Cam or Russell Wilson, even Dak Prescott or maybe Deshaun Watson to that effect, it's just not going to be a good day for you.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he's been their leading rusher 13 times in his career, and in those games, they're 2-11.
There's a couple situations like that in the league this week, too, with quarterbacks, running.
And this game at halftime wasn't out of reach. It was 10-6 at the half. Jacksonville definitely made a game of it late. Philly went down and, got the put-away touchdown. But, I mean, you trade for Carlos Hyde. Obviously, I guess he doesn't know the playbook that much. He only gets 6 carries.
Yeah.
I mean, Yeldon gets 2 carries. I mean, Yeldon has more catches at 7 than he did in rushes. But again, until Leonard Fournette comes back in there to stabilize that offense, 3-5 Jacksonville behind the 8 ball. I would imagine going into the draft, now, we've talked about some of these teams that are 1-7 or 1-6, and maybe they're going to be looking at a quarterback. Jacksonville's 3-5. Let's say if it goes off the rails and they end up 4-12, they might be in that market too. I mean, it's a little early to talk about that, and once Fournette gets back, maybe that changes some, but something to kind of keep the eye on there. But the Eagles get to 500, which is big for them, especially considering the Redskins now are sitting at 5-2. We'll get into that game here in a minute, but good win for the Eagles across the pond. Jacksonville definitely back at the drawing board trying to figure some things out.
Right. Well, I mean, as far as Philly goes, this game, period. Yeah, Philly got the dub, but it definitely wasn't pretty. You had some injuries occur on that in that game. Some people are already nursing injuries, but I mean, look, the snap count and the rotation for certain players in this particular game, pretty hefty, and they did a pretty decent job of rotating players in and out. Lane Johnson went down with the MCL. Jason Peters is already nursing a quad injury. Ajayi's out. The running back depth is either like nearly depleted or it's not really being used properly. Guys aren't producing as well. Corey Clement, I don't know, 12 touches for 12 yards. I don't know what that is. I'm not really sure. Is that the O-line doing what they're supposed to do or not doing what they're supposed to do? And then you got a guy like Smallwood, and then you got Josh Adams, and it's like it's not really clicking.
It's definitely committee,
right? But
it's definitely committee at this point. But, no Blunt there no more, and Jay Ajayi being down,
right? But the whole thing with Philly, man, like it's they're getting dubs, but they're quick and dirty. Like in their particular situation, and the things that Philly likes to do, the RPOs and things like that. The way that O-line's been battered, like they can't run certain alignments. You can't push, pull, chip. It limits the route combinations you can run, which limits what the offense can come to the table with for situational football. So like 2nd and 8, not a threat. 3rd and 5 plus yards, not a threat. Philly special, don't even think about running that. That ain't going to happen.
Well, definitely the tackle positions. I mean, we know Peters has got the torn biceps and he's playing through that. And then, like you just mentioned, Lane Johnson now looking like he's going to miss around 6 weeks.
Yeah, at least a month.
With the MCL. So 4 to 6 weeks. Yep. We'll see how quickly he gets back and see how that line holds up while he's out.
Yep.
Now let's go on over here to Carolina. We had Ravens at Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers get the win, 36-21.
Yeah.
Maybe Lamar getting into the game a little earlier now.
Yeah.
And then once the game was out of reach with about 3:15 left, got to finish the game.
Yeah.
Probably rubbed old Joey Flacco's feathers a little bit.
I definitely was hearing the conversation about Flacco and his him not being pleased by Lamar Jackson getting as many touches as he got.
Well, who probably shouldn't be pleased either? Mm-hmm. The organization or the fans, because Joe Flacco was 22 of 39 for 192, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And one of those interceptions made no sense whatsoever. He's rolling. It's 3rd and 17. He's rolling. He's almost out of bounds, and he just throws it down the field. There's a guy, just the only guy there's Carolina, and you just, thanks, cookies, thank you, This game was pretty much over at half. I mean, it was 24-7. Baltimore did get another touchdown, but the Panthers were pretty much in control of this game the whole way.
Yeah. I don't know who the running back is over there. They keep saying it's some guy named Alex Collins, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, 11 carries, 49 yards, and a TD.
Yeah.
My guy from the draft, my pet cat, DJ Moore, starting to get even more involved, starting to get some more looks. He's had a couple games okay. This game right here, though, 5 catches for 90 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And also 2 rushes for 39 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, there you go. Starting to get on, starting to catch on, And then you got Christian McCaffrey with 14 carries, 45 yards, and Cam Newton, 10 for 52.
Yes.
Never mind the fact he was 21 to 29 for 219 and 2 TDs.
Yes.
So Cam doing the Superman thing for sure.
Preach.
Greg Olsen looks like he's pretty healthy, he's going to be at this stage of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Open for 4 catches, 56 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Baltimore's kind of beat up on the defensive side of the ball. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Missing some people.
Mm-hmm. Told you Cam would have a field day.
Yeah, and definitely took advantage of some things. Carolina now at 5-2, Baltimore 4-4. Definitely going to watch the Lamar Jackson, Joey Flacco situation. Now, has had some pretty good games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last couple of games not so good. I'll tell you what, if this thing kind of gets away from them,
yeah, Lamar's on deck.
I think Lamar's definitely on deck. Yeah. And Joey in a bag of donuts might be on the sideline, not with the sourpuss face.
Hey, man, look, Cam Newton, I said he was going to have a field day. Threw for 2 TDs, ran for 1 TD. And Christian McCaffrey, ain't no slouch either. Ran for a TD, caught a TD. It's not a game over there with Christian McCaffrey. He's probably leading the running backs coming into this next phase or next generation of running backs. Watch Christian McCaffrey. It's going to be entertaining.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. He can kind of disappear behind the line and all of a sudden, shoot, he's going around the corner.
I'm going to start calling him Jerry. He reminds me like a Tom and Jerry situation, NFL player, linemen, and stuff like that. They're so big, and then you see little Christian McCaffrey peek out from a hole somewhere. Tom and Jerry. I'm going to start calling him Jerry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, let's get to the myth, the legend, the 7-1 now Kansas City Chiefs at home take care of business against the Denver Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Little nip and tuck in the first half, 2014. Then that third quarter came, and and then we didn't put that one on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes, Jan, 303 yards, 4 touchdowns. He threw a pick, fair enough, but kind of old hat for him. I think that's 6? Yeah. Is it 6 300-yard games now?
I was just going to stop you right there and say, look, this kid is really taking off this year. He's officially gotten the job, and it's week 8, week 9, mm-hmm. and we're talking about Jan. He had 4 TDs and 300 yards. So
right.
That's the impact of the legend.
Indeed. And now Sammy Watkins finally showing up, looking like the $18 million a year guy with the 107 yards, 2 touchdowns on 8 catches.
Sammy probably just ate good this week. Stop playing.
Maybe so. Whatever he ate this week, he needs to continuously eat that for the rest of the year. Maybe it'll keep him healthy and he can kind of put up those numbers.
Yeah. Also, Kareem Hunt, another one in the next generation of running backs. Watch him.
Hey, man, that little shovel pass and then that hurdle and then let me ball my way in after the hurdle. Man,
yeah,
that was. I was like, oh, that's definitely popped off. My eyes were like, oh my God, is somebody going? They're not going to tackle. No, not going to tackle him. No, in that thing.
Yeah, if he'd have got 2 more touches at in a running attempt, he probably would have rushed for a TD too. But he caught one, so no biggie.
Now on the other side, Phil, the undrafted rookie,
mm-hmm.
Part of their duo for Denver, Phil Lindsay.
Yes.
Had a great game. 18 carries, 95 yards touchdown. Case Keenum did Case Keenum things.
Mm-hmm.
Bad pick, but he's going to kind of give you that every once in a while. Their other rookie, Cortland Sutton, led the way, 3 catches, 78 yards. And
making a move. Coming on strong.
Yeah, making a move, definitely. Denver sitting at 3-5 now. Got to wonder what Elway's thinking. You brought Case Keenum in here now, and it's not all on Case, but some of it is on Case. It's just kind of one of those things. One week, one thing's right, the next week, something else isn't right for them.
Right. Huh? Yeah, the Broncos definitely looking at bolstering certain positions inside their offensive roster. Definitely QB is going to be one of them.
Well, we'll see if the next QB that Elway drafts sticks around.
God, you're cold, man.
Hey, I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody seen Paxton Lynch lately? No? Okay. All right. Then this game, Browns at the Steelers.
Yeah. Well, the Cleveland Browns did more than just lose the game.
Oh, yeah. 33-18. And for, I think it's the 6th consecutive head coach has been fired in Cleveland after their second game during the season facing Pittsburgh. Obviously, there was a power struggle there between him and Haley. Obviously, Hugh Jackson was the owner's guy. Haley was the GM's guy. There was issues from that top down, I believe, as you say, Messiah, top down maybe. We saw certain things in Hard Knocks that made you maybe wonder a little bit. And finally, they just said, you know what, clear the decks. Clear it. Let's just done. Not only are we going to get rid of the head coach, but you know what, Haley, going about your business too. Now, I don't know what that conversation was behind the scenes and how that ended up happening with Haley. I imagine it was fiery for some parts there.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, 18 carries, 65 yards with Hyde out of the way. Duke didn't really get much involved in the running game, but we know he's more of a receiving threat anyways.
Yeah.
Baker 22-36 for 180. Not ideal, obviously.
Yeah.
And then on the Steelers side, James Conner just keeps doing Le'Veon Bell things. 24 carries, 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, let me go ahead and add 5 more catches for 66 yards.
Yeah.
Could be very scary for them if Le'Veon, it'll be, or I'll take scary away. What I'll say is it'll be very interesting to see now that the trade deadline has came and went and they can't trade him if he shows up now. When he does show up to get the accrued year, how exactly are they going to play them two?
Hey, it's going to be really easy. There's already a formula, and it kind of started, in Carolina. I know there's other organizations that have done it, but, when D'Angelo Williams was doing that in Carolina, and then D'Angelo Williams finally got cut, and then they brought him over to Pittsburgh. And he was doing the same thing, So I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if you see a James Conner, Le'Veon Bell situation with dual running backs. They both can catch, they both can run clearly, and then there's all the other threats on the outside. There's a guy over there named Juju, and there's another fellow over there named Antonio Brown. Don't know if you ever heard of him. So, they got weapons over there, and one of the hardest QBs to bring down, Ben Roethlisberger. So,
yeah. So that gets Pittsburgh to 4-2-1, and drops the Browns to 2-5-1. Browns should be 5-3. That's neither here nor there. I'm not going to talk about that anymore.
No, you
Greg Williams, done with that. Greg Williams is the intern.
Why you sound like a tire losing air over there?
I just, it's just aggravating. It's just very aggravating. But, hey, man.
The only thing I kind of got to say about it is, and I don't know, it's the right move. I don't know if it was the right time, but I hate to say it, but kudos to the Cleveland Browns for, front office for actually doing something about a situation instead of letting it fester.
That's true. That's very true. Here's the conundrum that the Browns are. All right.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this and we can move on.
Sure. No problem.
I think it's since 71, there's been 75 teams with a plus 11 turnover margin, and none of them had a losing record. None of them.
Yeah.
None. And here's the Browns at 2-5-1.
Really tough, man.
There's a nice little meme that Garrett kind of, or a picture that Garrett likes to post in the group, says a Buck's life.
Shout out to Garrett Wesley, man, the admin over there for the huddle group.
We need to get one made up called A Brownie's Life. God bless America.
Now, what are you going to put in that pic? You going to put like a brownie, or are you going to put like a poop emoji?
I'm going to put both. Both. Just put both. I don't even care. Jesus.
Next.
Oh, man. Now, onto the game. We talked about this on the previous show Friday. We had this one kind of circled
Yeah.
We had this circled like, hey, these two teams sitting at 500. The winner here, this might be something that projects them on to maybe a chance to get into the playoffs. And that was Seattle at Detroit. And that second quarter by Seattle, fire. Dropped 21 on them real quick. Real quick, you hear me? Seattle gets to win 28-14 to get to 4-3. Russell Wilson,
efficient.
Just efficient. Yeah,
efficient.
Yeah. I mean, 14-17, 248 and 3.
Yeah, bro.
Now, if Seattle has figured out this run game, and it's kind of seemed so far this year, they have Carson, 25 carries, 105, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Then you sprinkle in Mike Davis with another 10 carries for 33 yards.
Yeah.
They still, even with, we talked about this before too, even with Earl Thomas hurt and gone for the year, you still have the Wagners of the world and the Frank Clarks over there.
Right.
So definitely showed up, did their thing on the road, coming off the bye. Probably not optimal to have Matthew Stafford throw the ball 40 times. I'm just going to say that. And again, same old song and dance for Detroit, man. They're just trying. They think Kerryon Johnson's going to be the guy running back for them. They've been trying to find the running game. Blunt only gets 3 carries. Really surprised that Blunt coming over with Matt Patricia being from New England, that he's not getting more carries. But even in the game, I mean, Kerryon only got 8 carries for 22 yards. That's just not. I mean, that's just not enough. And I know they're struggling to run the ball, and they've been trying to figure that out. And that's probably going to be their undoing of the season, the lack of being able to run the ball, and something they can look forward to try to correct next year.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm just surprised that Kerryon Johnson wasn't able to do more. I know that Seattle isn't the easiest team to run against. However, this year there's been some lanes and stuff to kind of do a little bit more. So definitely something Detroit's going to look forward to taking care of next year and getting that running game bolstered, whether it's offensive lineman or whatever the case that they have to do. But that's just been their Achilles heel this year, just the lack of being able to run that ball.
Yeah, I mean, I'll mention here, with rushing, I mean, for both squads, I mean, like in Seattle's case, or excuse me, in Detroit's case, we know who LeGarrette Blount is, right? I mean, you remember that guy? Came out of Oregon. Yeah. Nice. I mean, he can hammer it. I mean, he's been to 2 Super Bowls. I mean, before this season, I mean, he's been to 2 Super Bowls in a row and got rings from each one of those.
Right.
LeGarrette Blount should be touching the ball minimum 10 to 15 times in one form or another. You already have another running back that you're starting, cool. But you're not going to win very many games if you have LeGarrette Blount over there sitting there making sure the bench stays warm in his spot. Like, that's not going to happen for you. And vice versa in the Seattle situation. They seem to have learned how to manage running the ball, and they don't need Chris Carson or Mike Davis to be superstars. They just need 20 to 25 touches, maybe 30 touches between the two of them, and let them do their thing, move chains, make conversions if possible. And Russell Wilson can throw the ball. We already know he can. And I mean, all you gotta do is go through the stats, and you see how he spreads that ball around, and he throws TDs.
Yeah. Like I said, definitely head scratching with Patricia over there, and Blunt just not getting more than 3 carries. That's,
man,
I mean, I know they've been using him as a goal line guy, but I mean, man, you just think they were getting the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Well, now speaking of a Bucs life, speaking of, we have Bucs at Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals get the win 37-34. Jameis Winston threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
And if you watch the game, it could have been 6 or 7 interceptions, to be honest.
Yeah, I watched the game.
Got benched, obviously. Fitzpatrick had a little in his best. If he's coming off the bench, the pressure's not on him. Showed that Fitz magic, 11-15, 194, 2 touchdowns, storming them back, just falling short of the completed comeback. Which is kind of crazy because, I mean, they actually got some running game. They haven't been able to run the ball much this year. But, Peyton Barber, I mean, 85 yards, a touchdown, average 4.5.
Yeah.
Tampa, 3-4. Bengals now 5-3. Some more missed extra points in this game. I'm telling you, that's it. I was joking about it.
Yeah.
I was talking about it. I'm going to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm doing nothing but working my right leg, building that strength up, and I'm about to start training. That's it. I'm done. I'm through. I can't take it no more.
Right.
I'm like, look, I'm an extra point specialist.
Yep.
It's all good.
Yep.
Let me kick your extra points. Give me the league minimum. I got you.
Yeah. Hey, this is going to be an extended segment part right here for this Bucks thing.
Let me grab my water. Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah. Just want to detail some things. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't particularly like Jameis. They don't necessarily think he's a good quarterback. They don't think he has the skill, the talent, or whatever they think, about insert whatever negative comment, people that don't like Jameis being the quarterback for Tampa Bay, in this spot. The Bengals rushed for 115 yards in the first half. 4 offside penalties by Tampa in the first half. There's certain things going on the Tampa Bay Bucks organization as far as line play and how much help they got for Jameis, how long it took them, how long for players to develop. And, Jameis Winston is just supposed to come in here and just be this hero. Okay, cool. If you want to put that on his shoulders, all right, great. But the front office doesn't make itself look any smarter or make the situation look any better with some of the moves they make. Coaching staff, same thing. I mean, nobody wanted Jameis to play, for whatever reason. Jameis was looking good in the preseason. And, he got whatever happened to him and he was out till week 4. And then, Fitzmagic took off and everybody was all like, yay, Fitzmagic. And, Fitzmagic ran out like it normally does at every organization that he goes to. And then as soon as the guy was eligible to play in week 4, Jameis Winston, as soon as the Fitzmagic ran out, guess what you did? You went and threw Jameis Winston in there. Now you take him and you throw him out against the surging Bears defense at the time. You probably weren't expecting him to win, but you bring him back in, to compete, get some snaps, get some game, live rounds and stuff like that. But it was too late. The damage is already done. It was 38-3 at the half. You might as well have kept Fitztragic in at that point of the game. Okay? I said it in week 1. The coach, the QB, the D-line, and hey, what McCoy and JPP doing over there? I don't hear them names being called. We're playing these games. All those people that I named or those particular positions that I named will take the blame in whatever order. And now I'm going to get to something else. I remember in week 1 when we talked about hot seat coaches and things of that nature and, how the Bucs front office hired, coaching wise and the mistakes that they made. Okay. So I'm going to go into that just a little bit here. A little dysfunction here in the organization, right? So you hire Lovie Smith, right? And then Lovie, you run him out of town. And then you take the OC, Dirk Cutter. And now he's the head coach. And people still don't believe he should have been head coach. Truth be told, we're halfway through this season. And guess what? Y'all didn't even think that he was going to make it to this season, right? Look, you can't do this type of thing to a player. Draft him out of college, bring him in. You got dysfunction. He's been here for 4 seasons. You're still trying to get him weapons. You're still trying to solidify the offensive line. The defense is still sketchy, and then throw it on his shoulders. It's not going to work. So by the time we're all said and done with this, now Jameis Winston is probably going to get ran out of Tampa. I believe he's probably played his last snap between now and the start of next season. And you're going to be looking for a new head coach, a new QB, and probably some other moves will be made. Okay? Now, let's look at the situation here with these coaches. All available coaches at the time that they hired Lovie. You had Mike Pettin. You had Jim Caldwell, Bill O'Brien, Mike Zimmer, Ken Wisenhunt, Jay Gruden, And all those people went to the respective teams that they're at. I mean, Jim Caldwell's gone, Mike Pettin's gone, Ken Wisenhunt's gone. And then also available at that time was Hugh Jackson, Ben McAdoo, Frank Wright, Sean McVay. I mean, and then you decided to stick with Dirk Cutter. Okay, fine. But you get what you pay for. And you could have went after somebody else that could help with the development of this kid. Jim Caldwell would have been okay. Mike Zimmer might have been okay. Hey, this guy out in L.A. right now with another QB who everybody thought was a bust, just like they think Jameis is, and he was the backup to Case Keenum. You drafted him, and he was a bust. You played him the last 7 games of the season. The head coach at that time was Jeff Fisher. You get rid of Fisher, you hire McVay. All of a sudden now this kid's in the conversation for league MVP. Yeah, that's Jared Goff. So let's not be quick to throw Jameis Winston under the bus for his performance because it's all on him. It's a team thing. It's the ultimate team sport. And some of these guys, you either got to coach them, and all players, you have to help them develop if you want them to help you win. That's about all I got to say about Jameis Winston in the Tampa Bay Bucs situation.
I'm going to piggyback a couple things there.
Sure.
Jameis, I understand the organization keeping Dirk Cutter for Jameis. Mm-hmm. I get that. Mm-hmm. Now, you probably kept him too long. But I think everybody will agree with that at this point.
Exactly. Yep.
You probably hung on to Mike Smith, the defensive coordinator, too long earlier this year. All right. Mm-hmm. Progression or not, I'm going to back off of what you said. He's got weapons. Now, the run game we can talk about, but as far as the wide receiver position and the tight end position, he has weapons.
Well, he's got those now. I mean, he didn't have them all when he first started, number one.
Right.
And they haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since Doug Martin.
Right. Now, who had time there when Winston was there too?
Right. But, I mean, that it's not a consistent anymore.
Yeah. He has to learn to not turn the ball over.
Definitely. There's no doubt about that.
That's a big issue for him.
Yeah.
I think it's either 48 games and 50 turnovers, or it's 50 interceptions, or it's 50 games and 48 interceptions. One way or the other on that. However that falls. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a good stat.
No, it's not. Now, I'll interrupt you for a minute here. There's a guy over in New Orleans who was a turnover machine too when he was at the time the San Diego Chargers. Got him some running help, and now all of a sudden, he's probably first ballot Hall of Fame. He's won a Super Bowl, and he's consistently in the playoffs. Guy normally he averages over 4,000 yards a season when he throws on the regular. So development helps.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But, I mean, even it's not even just interceptions, the fumbles, different things like that. Mm-hmm. And then you factor in some of the stuff, and this is probably going to be the key factor because I think they would live with that and bring somebody else in. Then it's going to be some of the questionable things he's done away from the field. No matter what you believe, how the Uber stuff happened or whatever, there's that.
There's no question about that, and he definitely needs to change that angle of his life.
Right. Yeah. Now, I don't think this is the end of Winston as far as in the NFL.
No, I don't
What I do think is he has to find someone that believes in him.
Yes.
And he might have to go sit somewhere for a year underneath a guy that's aging, about to get out of there, and maybe figure some things out. Maybe a San Diego.
Maybe the San Diego Chargers, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
LA
Los
Chargers.
Angeles. Until they made the playoffs to the San Diego Chargers, I don't care.
Right.
But the Chargers, maybe you sit behind Rivers for a season, then take over, something of that ilk. But, it's time for the Bucs to blow it up and get back to basics and find them a new head coach and get something going.
Yeah.
Moving a little along here, I do want to touch something on the Bengals real quick, though.
Sure.
That boy Joe Mixon,
yes.
21 carries, 123 yards for 2 touchdowns.
Next
Doesn't
generation.
get talked about enough.
Next generation of running backs.
Yeah, that guy right there is, he had some issues in college, and Bengals got him for, a little bit lower in the draft.
Yep.
Yeah, and definitely is paying dividends for them right now.
Yes, sir.
So, again, Bengals right in the thick of things there at 5-3 in that division. Mm-hmm. And looks like it could be a 2-team race now. Got to see what the Ravens are going to do and what Joey Flacco's going to show up. Now over to the Jets at Bears.
Yeah.
Jets at Bears. And, old Mitchell. Don't call me Mitch.
Yeah.
1629, 220. Little deceiving considering he did hit Tariq Cohen for a 70-yard pass, and Tariq Cohen did most of the work there. Very fast, by the way, in case y'all didn't know. But got 10 points in the fourth quarter to pull on out and make it 24-10. Howard, 81 yards rushing as well. Defense was able to do enough, obviously, to keep the Jets with their rookie quarterback and Sam Darnold under wraps. Darnold 14-29, 153. No turnovers, interception-wise, and one touchdown.
And this game's ugly, man.
Yeah, it was just a slugfest. Yeah, no running game for them whatsoever. They tried.
Compared to what they did the week before. I mean, right. And then, Sam Darnold's got accumulated as much yardage as Crowell.
Yeah. Five rushes for 22 yards is not a good look when Crowell has 13 for 25.
No.
And then you got Trenton Cannon 6 to 10. I mean, your two actual running backs averaging less than 2 yards per carry. But we kind of know the Jets. They're going to kind of come and go a little bit here and there. Bears over 500, 4-3.
Yep.
Maybe trending upwards here a little bit.
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
Get that Khalil Mack back. That'll be all right.
Yeah, gotta get healthy. Your Giants at home against the Redskins. 2013 Skins now 5-2. Giants, in which you're hoping for, are now officially in first place. If the draft started right now at 1-7. The AP, the ageless one. Dear God, 26 carries, 149 yards, a touchdown. What did you see him take off on y'all? Did you see that where we took off?
Left them.
Ooh,
people don't want to tackle.
With the gimp and all, you hear me?
Yeah.
And still couldn't get with him.
Right.
Definitely, we know what the Redskins front seven brings to the table. Saquon found out as well, 13 carries for 38 yards. But hey, Eli, 316 on him.
Deceptive. That is the most raggediest 300-yard game ever.
Well, Odell 8 for 136.
Odell getting scrap yards.
And at least Saquon again as the check down option got you fantasy people another 9
Check down Saquon.
Yeah.
Check down Saquon.
9 times. Oh man! But
we know what's going on in New York right now, as far as what they're trying to achieve for April in the draft at Tennessee. And the other thing, a lot of noise being made about maybe the QB should probably sit down. The QB that Odell Beckham was talking about a few weeks back, and everybody wanted to take Odell Beckham and burn him at the stake. Yeah. And the other thing floating around New York now is sit Odell and Saquon so they don't get injured for the season. Yep.
I mean, it's a bold strategy. I don't know how those players will feel about that, obviously. But I mean, for the health of the franchise, I mean, there would be something very unique that we haven't seen. Very NBA-esque for teams that are tanking.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they go that route. The other thing to note here is it might be a little bit harder to replace Eli now due to the fact that the rookie backup, I guess he went GTA on the highway.
Wrong way on the Weehawken. No.
Yeah, just decided he wasn't going to stop, and apparently almost hit a cop, and then they were knocking on his window. He wouldn't roll the window down, and I don't know what's going on with that situation.
We don't know what that whole story is.
Yeah,
there's something missing, and the police are the only one with a statement right now at this point.
A lot of hubbub.
Yeah.
But with that being said, until that situation kind of clears it up, I believe even if Pat Shurmur wants to go ahead and make the switch, I don't think you can do it right now. Not this week anyways, until some of the legalities of that gets cleaned up some.
I don't think I know the Giants have already come out and said that he's going to get a hefty fine. That's number one. Number two, which is probably more important, talking about the game aspect or managing the season aspect of it at the quarterback position. We probably won't see him till week 10 to 12, if we see him at all. so they can get some tape on him, decide if maybe they can move him, even if it's for a 7th round pick or whatever the case may be, or, just to have him on the roster while they consider who they draft at whatever position they draft at in April.
Fair enough. So Skins firm lead now, 5-2, trailed by the Eagles, who are 4-4, and the Cowboys with the bye week staying at 3-4. The other team in the race for the number 1 overall position that you are cheering for, Messiah, the Raiders, found a way to snatch an L from the jaws of victory.
Baseball scores.
Colts beat Oakland in Oakland 42-28.
Oh,
close, tied up late.
Wrong game. I was looking at the wrong game.
It's okay.
The other one, my bad.
It was going into the fourth quarter, Oakland's winning this game.
Yeah,
actually, 28-21, and Andrew Luck and them boys dropped 21 on them in the fourth quarter and win the game 42-28.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe one quick thing. I was going to say maybe. Marlon Mack might be their guy. They might have the two-headed monster, but Marlon Mack and the rookie Nyheim Hines. Mack, 25 carries, 132 yards. He's went over 100 yards a couple times. Now, he had the ankle and he missed some.
Right.
And Nyheim Hines is that nice change of pace back and is also really good at catching the ball in the backfield as well.
Right.
Hines, 11 carries for 78 yards. They might have figured out their running back situation finally for the Colts if Marlon Mack can stay healthy.
Yeah. The Colts, I mean, they might look like they are kind of trying to put it together a little bit. I mean, with what they have, considering the roster and the injuries and things like that. Some things. Andrew Luck's now thrown at least 1 touchdown in 31 straight games, and that's actually good for sole possession of the 8th longest streak in NFL history. Just some facts I want to point out here. The Colts have won 2 games in a row for the first time since 2016. They've also now scored over 30 points in their last 3 games. And the last time that happened was in 2010. So, in Oakland's situation, close game. But, by the time you got to the late part of the game, you could see they were outclassed, undermanned. The bright spot in the secondary is probably Eric Harris. Made a lot of quality plays for the secondary. Even came up and helped in the run game. And that's probably one less draft pick Gruden's got to spend in the 2019 draft.
Right.
And this particular game, as far as them covering rushing, they made Marlon Mack look like he was, Pro Bowler. 25 touches, like you said, under 32, and these guys, they're barely offering any resistance in the run game, 27th in yards per rush allowed.
Right.
So,
again, if the Colts have figured out at least the running back situation, it definitely bodes well for them going forward.
Yeah.
Like you said, 2 straight, 3 of 5 now. Raiders now at 1-6. Yeah. Although Derek Carr, 21-28 for 244, 3 touchdowns and no picks.
Right. But, look, this is all semantics for us right now. We know what Oakland's doing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all about Vegas, baby.
Right.
All about Vegas in these drafts. So, on to another team vying for the number 1 overall pick. The 49ers visited Carolina. I guess I should say 2 teams that were vying for the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And San Francisco, for sure, also snatched an L from the jaws of victory. Up late, Cardinals only had 3 points. And then 2 late good ones, and Cardinals pull out the win 18-15 to get to 2-6.
Yeah.
Niners dropped to 1-7.
Yeah.
Beat hard. Ugh. Yeah. 14 of 28 for 190. Yeah. 1 touchdown, but no picks.
Yeah, there's not much to say here about this game. We kind of know what's going on in these these 2 ball clubs particular situation. Garoppolo's out for the Niners.
You know what though? I'll actually disagree with you there because San Francisco, yes.
Yeah.
I think Arizona's trying to win. I think they want Josh Rosen to be as good as he can. 23 of 40, 252, 2 touchdowns. I think Arizona's a little bit different. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think Washington, the Niners situation is different. I think Arizona's really trying to put their best foot forward.
Yeah, I was going to say that. As far as the Niners go, we know what their situation is. It's
injuries everywhere, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald turning back the clock, 8 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. And also, since everyone wants to talk about what rookies are doing, Do you know who the rookie wide receiver is that leads the league in receiving yards?
No, I do not.
That would be one Christian Kirk of the Arizona Cardinals.
Nice.
Who probably doesn't get enough pub. But yes, he is the rookie leader in receiving yards currently.
Nice.
Now, obviously, Ridley's going to get the pop. I mean, of course, he's leading the league in, coming into this week was leading the league in touchdown catches.
Yeah.
So, but
you know where Ridley's from? He's from that cupcake school.
Oh yeah, always cupcakes.
Yeah.
They roll cupcakes up there. But tip of the cap to them with Christian Kirk out of A&M, lead with the most yards so far. So
yeah.
Now, get your Pepto-Bismol, Packer fans,
buddy.
Get the Pepto ready,
buddy. Packers
off the bye go to L.A. to face the undefeated Rams,
buddy.
And literally drop the ball and lose 29-27.
Yeah. They had them.
I mean, I tell you what, I'm not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers only needing a field goal with 2:04 left in the timeout if you take the knee.
I ain't betting against that guy with 57 seconds, 47 seconds in a timeout.
Yeah. Ty Montgomery decided to bring the ball out. And he got to about the 20-yard line and coughed it up. And that was that.
I'm sitting here going, is he really coughing?
Smart play by my front runner for MVP in Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Because he could have housed it. He could have scored.
Sure
he could have scored. And he got the first down. He was inside the 5.
And,
you know what?
And sat down Indian style.
Sit down. Let's just kill this clock. It's okay. It's all right. I got 114 yards rushing already. Hey, I got 81 yards receiving already in the touchdown. Mm-hmm. I don't need another one. It's fine. Let's get this dub.
Mm-hmm.
Not up to chance with John Wick on the other side, even though you theoretically would have been up 9. So,
right.
Rams survive 8-0. We talked about this on the preview show, right? And, I was like, man, it was a big win for Green Bay to pull out that win against San Francisco because you go to L.A. after, here, and then it's cross country to New England. Yeah. And like I said, the preview show, I think they're going to be 3-4-1 afterwards. We're halfway there.
Man, I don't know about you, but the Packers had them, bro. The Packers had them.
Yeah, he takes the knee, 2:04 in a timeout, and you only need a field goal. Now, granted, though, it's been one of those rides with Crosby though this year.
Right, of course, you got Mason Crossbar.
Yeah, Crossbar. But of course, with that much time, I mean, A-Rod might just stuck it on in the end zone and not worried about it. So definitely one of the things we don't know. I mean, the Rams defense obviously is good, but that guy in that situation, masterful this year in times and over his career, but they didn't. So Rams stay undefeated, and going to be that long trip to New England like we talked about, man. I'll tell you what, just as a football fan in general, definitely would have liked to seen A-Rod against that defense with that 2:04 in that timeout just to see how it played out.
Everybody wanted to see it, man.
Yeah, you feel like you get a little robbed of what could have happened there.
Yeah, I mean, you're robbed of a moment. You definitely thought. I mean, we know what a lot of people think about A-Rod, man. Like, no pressure. Like, 2 minutes left, one timeout, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, for what it was worth, I mean, looked like all of his appendages were healthy, so he was moving good. Knees looked like they were straight. I mean, obviously the arm is top notch, first class. I mean, he was throwing pretty good, and I mean, for pretty much the first half, I mean, Packers defense was even like, they were pressuring Goff. They were, turning some stuff out. So it wasn't a cakewalk for the Rams the first half.
Oh yeah, by no stretch. Yeah,
I mean, they were putting it to them there. So, I mean, like, they came, I think I made the comment, like, even like the O-line, like, it's been known to, have some mental mistakes. Like, man, that O-line was playing like, this is the playoffs. We ready.
So. Yeah, it's 2 big games headed up. So, again, Packers 3-1 now, and Rams stay undefeated.
Yeah. Them Rams.
Now, the rematch, the NFC divisional round rematch, Saints at Vikings. Yeah, Saints just went there very businesslike and took care of business.
And I'm pretty sure that's how the coach approached it too. The coach just pretty much was like, we ain't even playing with these fools. Coming in here and knock it out. They were not playing. And even like you even see Drew Brees on the sideline and in between huddles and stuff like that. Like, man, they wasn't playing. They came in.
Yeah, it was a button-up business trip for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kirk Cousins, 31 to 41 for 359, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Also, shout out to Adam Thielen, right? Setting the record. What's that?
8 100-yard games in a row.
8. First in history with his 7 catches, 103. Stephon Diggs showed up too with 10, 119, but running game wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. 13 to 56 for Murray, but man, just the Saints were just working on, man. You know, they just business-like. That's the only thing I could say. They just had the hard hat on, and they were there with a mission, and they got up out of there with the win, man, 30 to 20.
Yeah,
and of course, like we talked about too, the Saints got to keep winning. They're another 6-1. Because that boy Cam, and they are not going to fade. They're 5-2 now. One little slip up, and the Panthers are ready to pounce. Pun intended.
Cam's a leader in that place, man. And I know old Riverboat Ron probably having to talk with him every week. Hey, we can't go to sleep. We need your very best. We need your very best. And when we get out of this, we're going to need better than your very best. So.
And then, of course, to the Monday Night Snoozer. Although it was more, the final score is 25-6. However, it was much more entertaining if you watched it.
Deceptive, yes.
The Bills definitely threw everything at them, including the kitchen sink.
Yeah. With
certain plays and different things. But just at the end of the day, wasn't quite enough. You wondered how New England was going to handle Sony Michel being injured. Their response: let's take Cordell Patterson and make him a running back, and he gets 10 carries for 38 yards.
Yeah,
you know that the Patriots and kind of what they do. You never know. James White another 10 catches as a running back for 79. I'm amazed by how much they're going to throw the ball to White when he comes in, and we just don't seem to figure a way out to cover it.
Yeah.
Rob Gronkowski's elbow keeps growing with the bionic thing. I don't know what's going on there. It's bigger than it's ever been.
Weapon X.
It was coming loose at times. He was trying to pull it up. I'm like, what is going on here?
Dude, he's going to need to go have a talk with Professor X or somebody, and they're going to have to go reconfigure that. Cause,
I don't know what's going on there. And
at least need to make it look like a human arm, because, I mean, it's like he's literally coming out there with like, a pipe every week on his arm. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's something. The Bills dropped to 2-6. Patriots are now 6-2. They had an issue. Apparently, Josh Gordon was a little tardy during the week.
Yeah.
So the Patriots were going to discipline him. And by discipline him, they meant he would just miss the very first play.
Yeah.
Hashtag Patriot way.
Right,
Serious discipline right there.
Yeah, they're going to need to discipline Brady because, I mean, he had no TDs for the game.
But he threw, but that block he threw, though.
Hey, let me tell you something. That first half,
I can't believe Alexander didn't hit him harder. I'm sorry.
Oh, my goodness. We were talking about that yesterday or last night, right?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Why did they not pound? Man.
Free shot on Brady's like,
buddy, I wish they'd have suited me up and paid me $10,000 to just play that game whenever they wanted to sub me in. Sub me in for that package so I get a shot on old Tommy Brady. Boy, I'd have knocked him back to Michigan when I'd have hit him, boy.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my goodness.
Although he didn't throw a touchdown or interception, Brady did throw for 324, by the way.
Yeah.
Derek Anderson, man, I mean, he battled. Veteran, concussed at the end, is the word with him. 22 of 39 for 290. The pick six obviously killed him late. I don't really think McCoy's healthy. He did a lot of dancing and not really hitting the holes like you normally saw him do.
Yeah, I seen a lot of dancing from him and heading out of the end zone because he didn't want to take contact.
Yeah, so I don't really know how healthy he really is.
Yeah, I don't think he's healthy at all either.
Yeah, so, but like I said, Bills tried what they could. couldn't get it done.
Also, maybe part of the reason why they didn't try to trade for him because he probably wouldn't have passed the physical.
Man, solid point. Solid point. But also, we had the trade deadline come and go.
Ooh, yes.
Now we had a couple of trades leading up to this before today. We had Carlos Hyde make his way to Jacksonville, and then of course the Cowboys send the first round pick to the Raiders for a first Mike Cooper for a first round pick. And then the NFC East today decided to make some moves of their own. Eagles couldn't lend them a running back, so they said, hey, let's just get another wide receiver for Carson Wentz to throw to. Send a third-round pick to Detroit for Golden Tate. Maybe a rental last year of his deal.
That's a good get, though, man. Golden Tate is dangerous.
Very much so. Demaryius Thomas' time has come to an end in Denver.
Yeah, end of an era.
End of an era there. They get a 4th and a 7th from Houston, and they send DT in the 7th to Houston. Big weapon for Deshaun Watson. Opposite, and you definitely have something legitimate opposite of D-Hop, so that's going to be interesting. And then the rich get richer with the Rams.
Yep.
They're all in, bro. They are all in.
Golden State Rams, buddy. The Golden State Rams.
My goodness. They go ahead and send a 3rd and a 19 and a 5th and 20 for Dante Fowler Jr.
Yeah.
Let's just go for it. Now, obviously, there's some combustible situations there in Jacksonville that probably led to him being departed out of there. And that could even had something to do with whatever that per se fight was.
Yeah.
And then also whatever happened at the bar. But I'm sure he'll be more than happy to be on that defense over there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing with like the Jags didn't lose per se. I mean, they didn't win, but Dante Fowler definitely won because he's probably looking at a first-round bye in the playoffs with the Rams.
Doesn't have to worry about the quarterback situation.
No, he doesn't have to worry about that at all. Nope.
And then the Skins, who were sitting at 5-2, said, well, Cowboys went and got Cooper, and the Eagles went and got Golden Tate. Yeah, we'll take Clinton Dix off your hands, Green Bay, for a 4th-round pick.
Man.
Even though we have the third best defense in the league right now, we'll just go ahead and add this guy.
Yeah.
Why not? Roll Tide.
She talk about cupcake school.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then, last but not least, we got robbed of a moment in L.A. when Tom Montgomery decided to bring that ball out and cough it up. And that got him shipped on up out of there.
Yeah.
And he gets sent over to the Ravens for a 2020 7th rounder. But whether he was traded or not, it looked like he was going to be cut. So they get some kind of compensation for him.
Yeah.
With the NFC East, obviously 5-2, 4-4, 3-4, and those teams obviously all have to play each other. We had to play the Eagles twice. Eagles and Skins got to play twice. We had to play the Skins again. Those are going to determine that division, and everybody took a swing to try to get better. The NFL's always wanted that baseball, NBA style trade deadline, funk, if you will.
Yeah.
They definitely got it this year. A little bit last year, but they definitely got it this year. And embracing that and getting things going made it pretty exciting. We always hear a bunch of names that could be moved. And, this year, more than ever, a higher percentage of those names. We heard about HaHa on the block. He got moved. We heard about DT on the move, possibly being on the move. He got moved. So definitely exciting times. Some teams got better. Some teams cashed out. And some teams didn't do anything. Sat on the hands.
Yeah, those Giants. Don't know how they didn't try to make a move for picks or to free up cap room on this final day. I definitely wouldn't have been happy to see Landon Collins go. I would have been okay with keeping Janoris Jenkins. I mean, if they weren't shopping him, cool. If they were.
Wait, say that. Hold on. You said you would be okay with Landon Collins going?
No, I said I wouldn't be.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you would. I was like, whoa.
Stop it.
What's going on here?
You knock it off right now. That's enough.
Well,
Landon Collins,
speaking
keeper.
Speaking of Landon Collins, I saw this floated out by a particular guy from NFL Network saying the Giants wasn't fielding or wasn't actively shopping him, but they were fielding calls, and the asking price was a second-round pick for Collins. And I'm like, stop it. No way. If this is a second-round pick, he would have been up out of there. Right. I am surprised Janoris Jenkins didn't get moved. I thought they would find a taker for him.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumblings about him going to KC today, and I was like, oh, I mean, that's a good pickup.
Right.
That's a good pickup. I wouldn't be mad. I mean, sheds the contract, too, from us, but, that's a good pickup. I'm surprised they didn't make that move.
Right. And now, Tom Montgomery, we can say maybe that's not really affecting them, the way that they're running the ball. Now we know the injuries happen, and now if you lose a running back here or there, then maybe you feel that pinch of Tom Montgomery. I guess maybe Green Bay didn't plan on paying Clinton Dix. So they said, let's just get some compensation for him. But you just lost the game. You're going to New England. I don't think moving on from Clinton Dix makes you a better team.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
And, right now where you have two teams in front of you in your division, just a head scratcher for me. That one was a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Even when I heard the rumblings of it, was kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, HaHa's from the Cupcake School. I mean, in case nobody knows, but Clinton Dix is from Alabama. Put all that to the side. Does a lot of community work within Wisconsin. And he's got the HaHa's Hero Foundation, and a lot of sponsors, a lot of backup. I mean, Clinton Dix is, for all the talk that we hear about, the shut up and dribbles, or athletes don't support their community, they're overpaid, big babies, and, could care only about themselves.
Spoiled, I think is the word we hear. Spoiled.
Yeah. Clinton Dix is the furthest thing from that. He's not afraid to let you know his opinions, and he's not afraid to go out into his community and give back. Beyond all that, the Green Bay Packers moving him to the Redskins, let me tell you what Clinton Dix is about to land in. The Redskins D's ranked third in the NFC and fifth in the NFL in points per game. They're tied for fifth in the NFC and tied for 10th in the NFL in sacks. They're ranked second in the NFL and NFC in rushing yards per game, and they're ranked seventh in the NFC in passing yards per game. Now, let me give you the little frosting. He's going to join a mean front seven, okay, because they don't play, which is why you got those stats that I just read off. And the guy that he's going to play on the other side from, DJ Swearinger, leads the NFL with 4 INTs. And Clinton Dix is right behind him, tied with 14 other players for second place. So you lost a good one, Green Bay. Shame on you.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, definitely a head scratcher while they moved on from him.
Joke.
I'm interested to see what Tom Montgomery does in Baltimore. A little bit. I mean, to see how they decide to use him.
I mean, if they're smart, they're designing the next page or next section of the Lamar Jackson playbook to include him in it.
Right. I'm definitely intrigued by that to see. We kind of saw some returns of Carlos Hyde. Wasn't great against the Philly team in London, but I mean, he's just kind of getting his feet there. I don't know. I mean, that game was just a little wonky in general.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see Amari Cooper on display Monday night against the Titans at home.
Right.
And we see what happens and what goes on there, and if it's going to help. We'll see. Rams, man, again, there's nobody more in. Maybe it's just a West Coast thing. Maybe something in the water out there. And teams in these different sports is in just, hey, man, we're just going to go all in. Or just go for it.
I don't know, man. I know that dude's got that franchise turned around, and he's not afraid to speak his mind. He's not afraid to admit he makes mistakes as a head coach. And, he's always talking about putting his players in position to win.
Mm-hmm. And they've been doing that.
Yeah.
So now let's get into some winners and losers Because a couple teams I definitely want to touch on the L side, by the way.
Third down type stuff. Yeah.
Third down. Let's get to it.
Yep.
The antithesis of what the Rams are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City.
Wow. Yeah.
What do we? Hey, I mean, now we know Houston probably going to come back. We know we're waiting for Barry, but Barry's supposed to come back, and he's supposed to be back weeks ago. Be patient. I understand it. But you got to, I mean, you can't go get a ha-ha for fourth-round pick.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, the only rumbling I heard was Janoris, but I mean, like, you
right.
go get ha-ha.
I mean, you don't go get a Dante Fowler for peanuts.
Right.
And putting him on the other side of D Ford until maybe, Houston's ready to rock. With that offensive capabilities that they have, and they have shown so far, you invested with Sammy Watkins to go with Tyreek Hill. We know what Hunt is. We know what Kelsey does. We've seen Patrick Mahomes and what he's doing. The only Achilles heel this team has at times is definitely their defense.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why not spend something to go bring one of those kind of, even if it was Janoris like you talked about, bring somebody in to help that.
Jackrabbit would have helped. Ha-ha would have helped.
Definitely. Dante Fowler would have helped.
I mean, maybe they were trying to go after Landon and then they want to give more than that. I mean,
right.
We don't know. I definitely think, though, them not going to get Dante Fowler or anybody else along the defensive line is this upcoming draft. If nobody knows, man, it's going to be really D-line heavy.
Oh, yeah.
DB heavy. There's going to be some QBs, but I mean, like, you definitely going D-line, DB, linebackers. Those people are going to be available. And all your favorite, Saturday afternoon stars that you cheer for your college team on the offensive side of the ball, them guys are going to be going late, third round, fourth round type of things, because it's going to be so rich. Them boys in LSU, Washington State, like those guys are going to be available in spades. So I'm thinking maybe they're probably thinking, we're going to load up on that in the draft for whatever pick. We're probably going to be able to get somebody good no matter where we get him.
Right. And I'm okay with that. But that doesn't change
it doesn't help
now.
You now. Like when you got to go
now.
When you got to go, let's play what if scenario. Now when you got to go up go up against the greatest show on turf, part 2 in the Super Bowl. And your Achilles heel all year has been whatever it is with your defense at whatever level. Mm-hmm. Now you didn't go get Dante Fowler. You didn't go get that safety to help over top where you've been getting burned by a lot of receivers throughout this season. Patrick Mahomes has been able to bail you out. You didn't. Right. You're getting burned. You need to go get a ha-ha or a Janoris. Like dumb day for Kansas City.
And at the end, and then here's the next thing. Say you drop 2 games and now New England's got home field advantage and you got to go up there and you didn't secure anything else on that defensive side of the ball and go face Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. You just don't want to have to do that, Mm-hmm. And again, Patrick Mahomes is on the rookie deal. We all know that's the recipe, right? Seattle set that recipe. When you got the rookie, you go all in on everywhere else, and you make that run. Now you're seeing, like I said, I think this is like a West Coast thing. Mm-hmm. Now you're seeing that with the Rams. Rookie, let's go in.
Yeah.
I really would like to see them make a move, but they didn't, and they are getting some help back. And that offense is prolific so far, so we'll see what happens. Another team as well that could have went and did some things defensively. It's okay to feel good that you beat the Browns and you're 4-2-1 now. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
You could have used some of the same names that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Would like to see them to make some moves. I mean, Big Ben's not getting no younger.
Yeah.
That run's going to come to an end. Maybe you make a move, take a L on that. They could have did something there.
Yeah. And not for nothing. I mean, I know they got a guy behind him, but man, what if Big Ben goes down? Are we just assuming?
You just got to roll with the rook.
Yeah, I know, but
I mean, they still got Dobbs though.
Oh, yeah, your boy from Tennessee. Yeah,
they still got Dobbs for what it's worth. But, I mean, backup quarterback everywhere.
Tennessee Volunteers, not just somebody didn't think I didn't know what the hell I was talking about there.
But I mean, overall, we go backup quarterback across the board. I mean, you can talk about an L. I mean, Jacksonville couldn't go pull maybe a Teddy Bridgewater, somebody to come help them out.
Yeah.
You know, there's something there. I think Washington's big winner, obviously, bolstering that team. See, the Eagles, you got Golden Tate, and that's fine. You didn't do nothing about your running back position, though.
Yeah.
And they had this little committee there and everything else, and that's fine. But, boy, that's tough sledding because, you're going to go up against those Redskins twice.
Right.
And there's no one to really scare them in the run game. They maybe have to put an extra guy in the box. I don't know. I would like to see Philly to go get a running back. Hey, maybe they could have used Tom Montgomery.
Yeah.
It was just a little, Dallas, it's a wait and see. Amari Cooper, almost said Toomer.
You
Lord,
want to say Amari Toomer? I know you
almost did. Throwback. Going to get Cooper, guys 24. Alluding back to that draft, you spend a first-round pick on a guy that's already been a two-time Pro Bowler. By the way, there's not much in the first-round way of the wide receiver position this year. So you spend your money, you go do that.
No.
It's a win in that aspect. We got to see what Scott Linehan does, and we kind of have an idea about what kind of game planning he does.
Yeah.
Houston is a huge winner in my book. Quietly now, after the 0-3 start, you're 5-3.
Yeah.
You're kind of hitting a stride.
Yeah.
And now you add that big body. Now I get it. He's had some issues up there, but the quarterback play hasn't been exactly great in Denver the past few years. Okay.
Yeah, I said it today, man. I mean, he's in a similar situation as D Hop. He's had so many different QBs thrown to him.
And here's the thing, Watson. I'm a big fan of Watson's. I was a big fan of him coming out in the draft. Even
I'm not. Those last 3 seconds in that Clemson Alabama game. No.
Just hold the L. It's okay. You've won plenty. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. Promise.
Yep. Great kid though. Great kid.
Accuracy isn't that of a Drew Brees and everything else. So what do? We know how D-Hop's catch radius is. Now you get a DT on the other side and how he can vertically go up and get that ball as well too. And then you get Kiki back here from injury here in a little bit.
Right.
Hey, I tell you what, they're my number 3 in the conference right now. I got KC 1.
Yeah.
I got Patriots 2.
Right.
I think I got Houston 3 right now.
You think Houston?
I think I got Houston 3 right now. I'll put them ahead. I'll put them ahead of Pittsburgh and the Chargers.
You would?
Yeah, I think so. I think I would absolutely.
Wow.
I think the defense can do it, and that's the shift of getting that guy there.
Yeah.
Of having him on the other side of D-Hop. That's huge. I think that's probably the biggest get right now.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest get. Ha-Ha's pretty big over there, but I think with them winning 5 straight and getting that guy, I think Houston's the biggest winner, especially for what they had to give up. It didn't kill them. I think that turns that offense makes that offense even better, and it's been kind of finding its way and getting there. And now I think he puts them over the top. I think they're going to run away and hide with the division now.
Yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate your take on the AFC rankings. That's eye opening for me. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, you don't like Houston at 3?
No, I don't. Look. We're not a debate show. We don't really argue. I mean, the only thing we argue about really is like Cowboys and Giants stuff, and that ain't even during the show. So, I mean, it's very eye-opening for me that you picked Houston in the 3rd spot. I'm in shock.
I mean, you know what they have on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And that's progressively been ramping and going in the right direction.
Yeah, let me cut you off right there because I don't want you to talk anymore. Here's what's going to happen. Houston and New England, with the way they're playing right now, you think the Pats are beating Houston?
Yes.
You think?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I kind of might would flip. I might would
especially.
Flip.
I would say especially if it's in New England.
Okay, in New England, sure, but I mean, there's no guarantees right now because Houston's got a pretty good record too. They're not leading their division at 4-4 or whatever.
Right.
Like they're doing pretty well. It could wind up in Houston. So I don't know. New England's defense ain't that great. It ain't better than Houston's.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
and it'd be interesting to see because, I mean, obviously New England beat them early in the season.
Right.
But, I mean, that's eons ago.
Right.
You know, in NFL terms, that's eons ago. I definitely would like to see it again, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, currently as it sits, let me see what DT does and everything. But, yeah, I still would side with New England some, especially because
Fuller's out, too.
I'll tell you that if Sony Michel comes back, if he's back playing.
Yeah, if Sony Michel's back, that's a little bit different.
Currently constituted now, maybe I would lean towards Houston, but if Sony Michel is in the fold, then I'll probably lean towards New England.
Yeah, but he kind of also gets canceled out by Fuller, though. If Fuller wasn't gone for the season.
Yeah. Tough break.
But I get you, though. I just think the way that Houston's playing defense now, and the way that New England's pretty much been playing defense for most of the season, man, Houston's defense make Tom Brady toe tap, bro. It ain't gonna happen. Not no playoffs. Not for all the chips.
I mean, fair enough, but as many times as they face him, they ain't been able to make him toe tap yet.
Yeah.
If they can figure out how to cover White out of the backfield, they might have a chance.
Hey,
dear Lord,
I don't know who on the defense is gonna be able to catch Deshaun Watson.
Hey, man, Trey Flowers is playing pretty good ball for them at the end.
Yeah, he is.
He's been coming on.
Machine, bro.
Definitely been coming on.
He's
definitely.
A machine, man.
Yeah, and smart.
Yes.
Very, very. It ain't just about the motor with that kid. He's smart.
Yes.
You know, he recognizes and gets to that ball. Definitely someone that wasn't really on the radar a whole bunch, but he's been playing super solid in the games I've seen him this year.
Yeah.
Definitely pops off the screen.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think that's pretty much it as far as winners and losers.
Yeah.
Houston, definitely a big winner. Green Bay's a loser. I'm sorry. You get rid of HaHa Clinton Dix for a fourth-round pick, you're a loser. The Tom Montgomery, but just definitely a head-scratcher for me. Outside of them not just, look, we're not going to pay him, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
and definitely these moves that these teams that are, I guess you want to term losers, these teams that didn't make moves, man, you better take a look around you in your division. Pittsburgh Steelers, it ain't comfortable over there. Don't get comfy. Them Cincinnati Bengals, I know sometimes they can kind of be like the Chiefs, they run on you and then all of a sudden one and done, or, they get eliminated from the playoffs, before, you even get a shot. So, but it ain't comfortable over there. I mean, Red Rifle's playing. There's no issues over there. Joe Mixon's running it. The defense is doing what they got to do. Even with the in and out status of Vontaze Burfict, look around you, and not just in your conference, around the division. Pittsburgh Steelers, you got to go face Houston Texans. I can't say you're going to get that game. I can't. You can't. Ain't nobody in your secondary can stop Deshaun Watson. By the time he gets there, they might get a stiff arm. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Ugh.
Yeah, bro.
One more L before we get out of the winners and losers. One more L that I neglected, and I want to make sure I throw this one out there.
Let's talk about it.
Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we were going to talk about that for sure.
Atlanta Falcons, because end of the day, rough at 1-4. You've won 2 straight. You're 3-4.
Trying to make a run at your division to sneak in.
Right, sneak in.
Yeah.
And that defense and all those injuries. And here's HaHa for a fourth.
Janoris.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and maybe you can, or hey, with the way that your offense is constituted, maybe you call New York and say, forget that second, I don't believe the second round. Here's a first and give us Landon Collins. Like, if I'm that team, I can send a first for Landon Collins and pay him and feel good about it.
Let me tell you right now, any transactions that involve Landon Collins not staying on the Giants, I don't want to hear about on this show.
I'm just saying, if you're the Falcons, you're 3-4 and you're creeping back into it. We know what the offensive side of the ball is. We know what the injuries are on the other side. Let's do something.
Yeah, definitely they should have. But back to this Landon Collins thing. Knicks, don't ever do that again. Thanks.
I'm just saying.
No, knock it off. Knock it off.
They were fielding calls, sir.
Okay.
They just didn't get the right offer.
Yeah, sure. They were fielding calls. I personally, you know what I kind of think? I think
what you got?
I think they put him out there, and and nobody bid. So they had to leak something to see if somebody would come up. And by the time that came out around 3:30, 4 o'clock when we saw that. So that was an hour before the deadline. People already made moves. They settled in with their rosters, done for the day. There's only one guy sitting there by the phone, maybe two, that can man the paperwork. And, the phone doesn't ring. Oh, well.
Float it out there.
4:57. Bye-bye. Yeah, 4:57. Bye. Shut off the phone.
3:57.
Yeah, 3:57. Well, your time.
Well,
no, trade deadline is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right.
Yeah. So, but let me ask you one question. Sure. Patriots not making any trades. Surprised?
I'm not surprised because, as much as people like to hate on the Patriots, myself included, Bill Belichick does not get enough credit. He definitely gets a lot of hell as a head coach. I mean, consider the tree that he comes from, and that particular coach being his mentor, for the most part. Them guys, man, could probably go to the 7-Eleven and see a couple guys stand in line with some taquitos and hot dogs in their hands and a Gatorade and be like, "Hey, man, you want to come play for the Patriots?" And them guys are going to the Super Bowl. Like, he's good like that. He's a great evaluator of talent. So, I mean, the Patriots, man, like, not making a move doesn't surprise me at all. Here's the surprise. Two. One, I don't know why anybody would be surprised. And two, they go to the Super Bowl like we probably expect them to do, unless, they run up against Kansas City and Kansas City's got a really good game plan. Hey, there's going to be a name that you didn't yell all year long, and you're going to hear it in the Super Bowl, and you'll be like, damn, that boy good.
Right.
Because that's what they do. That's what Belichick does. Evaluator of talent, man, and he puts it on the field, tells you to do your job and do that job only. Come off the field when it's time to come off the field, and, hey, we're going to get this ring, bro.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I guess I'm not super surprised that they didn't make a move, but I think the one move, when I saw Fowler move to the Rams, that seemed like a very Bill Belichick move.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He, top 5 pick.
Yeah.
He's been whatever, he was hurt, but he's been whatever in the system. He's been okay, but he hasn't been maybe lived up to the billing.
No,
this kind of seems like I can get him for the low and put him in the system and now watch what he does.
Right.
So I was a little miffed on that, but I mean the defense has been ramping in the right direction for them. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they might have went out there and maybe secured a Ty Montgomery or a running back with the Michelle situation.
Right. But Dante Fowler doesn't lose because, I mean, if he's not going to the Super Bowl in the AFC, well, he's probably going to the Super Bowl in the NFC.
Yeah, so. Indeed. Oh, man, let's get on to this fourth down and preview this barn burner for the number 1 overall pick on Thursday night. We got the 1-6 Raiders that you need them to desperately win versus at the San Francisco 49ers.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you 2 things right now so you don't have to talk to me anymore about this. One, I will not be watching this game. Stop laughing so I can tell you thing number 2, and then you can move on.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thing number 2. These are 2 teams that are probably playing for the coin toss at second place in the second pick for the draft in 2019. So
I think I'm crying. I'm sorry.
I really don't care what occurs here. I'll tell you this much. I'm going to do you a favor. Don't say I never did anything nice for you. Don't even bother to put up that game threat tomorrow night because you ain't going to get any feedback there. Just want to share that with you.
I mean, there's some Niners fans, and we got a couple of Oakland fans.
That's right. Shout out to Justin Wood and Jason Sonnheiser, a.k.a. JC.
Yeah, we got a couple guys in there.
Yeah, there's some Niner fans. You're right. I mean, well, you can put it up and let them talk. Well, obviously. If they want to talk to me, they know how to reach me.
Well, for what it's worth, obviously I didn't say, but the Niners are also sitting at 1-7. For the Giants, in all the hopes and dreams of getting Justin Herbert out of Oregon, need Oakland to win here. It's okay if San Francisco doesn't win anything because they're not going to take a quarterback. Now you might have to trade up with them, so Oakland doesn't because they have all the extra picks or whatever. But you need Oakland to get to 2-6, and the Niners can go to 1-8. But at the end of the day, these two teams obviously probably drafted in the top 5. For those that are in the race of the high number 1 overall pick, the greatest thing is hopefully somebody wins. It's not a tie. There's that.
Hopefully the Thursday night announce crew doesn't fall asleep while they're on the job. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
I mean, don't you want to tune in and see what Derek Carr's going to do? No.
I mean,
CJ beat hard. I mean, Beathard.
No disrespect to Derek Carr, but
no,
I don't want to know. I don't want to know if he gets hit by anybody that he starts crying, because that'll be a whole nother story.
Jordy. Don't want to watch Jordy Nelson and his final.
Why Jordy Nelson didn't get moved is beyond me, man. I mean, and shout out to DRC, man. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, 11-year career, retired today from the NFL.
He's like, I'm not with the BS over here. I'm out. I mean, but I got my money.
We talked about that on the Friday preview, man. This is not what you sold, guys, and all these vets out here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I mean, hey.
DRC retired, right?
DRC retired. Who's the boy that asked to be traded?
Yeah, Derek. Oh, snap. The linebacker from Kansas City. Man, my goodness. He played forever.
I can't even remember. Derek Johnson?
Yeah. Hook 'em horns. Asked to be released.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Jordy hasn't said. He might have said something behind the scenes. I'm surprised he hasn't said anything.
Jordy's not a quitter, though, man. Like,
no, of course not.
Yeah, Jordy will roll right through the season, learn a lesson from it, go back to his farm, bale hay, try to stay injury free, and I'm sure they'll cut him or release him before something, before, so they can make a move, and then Jordy will go back to Green Bay, man.
Of course, now one thing I do want to point out as well, too, now that the trade deadline has came and went, now everyone that gets cut, even the vested veterans, have to go through the waiver process now.
Yep.
So with that being said, we might see a little bit extra movement there. People trying to shed salary, because if you do that and someone picks it up, they're on tabs for that salary.
Yeah, I saw a couple moves today after the deadline. I was
going to say, so we'll probably see some teams maybe shave some salary that way, and maybe Raiders will get rid of some of those players as well and see what happens.
Right.
But, we talked about the selling of, and I want to touch on this, it's all about Vegas, and we got the picks, and we're going to draft Vegas guys, and we're doing all this, and
talk your stuff, Knicks.
We expect Derek Carr to be moved and everything else, and that's all fine and dandy. That's great. Yeah. And they've created $74 million in cap space with all these different moves and everything else.
Yeah.
But these players talk.
Yeah.
These agents have multiple guys. They're not just agents for one particular player.
Yeah, I meant to bring that up earlier too.
And the way that this has went down with those vested veterans and some of these other players and everything else, that's fine that you got the capital, and sure, you can draft those guys, and that's what it is. But going out here and dipping your toe into the free agency to get people come in and buy into the vision, that might be a little bit harder. No matter how attractive Vegas is, those guys are going to remember. They're going to hear it from those players. They're going to know those agents who don't retire from the league and will be agents until their 70s and maybe even to their 80s if they want to be, are going to remember that and let said players that they have said, no. We're not going there because of this. And we're going to get you over here in a better position. And it's playing with fire some. Now, if they wanted to come in and do this off the rip, and this is what the plan was, then they should have been upfront about it and said, hey, look, we're tearing it down, we're rebuilding, boom, and going about your business. But you didn't. You placated, you signed guys and tried to get them to buy into this idea, old school wise, if you will. And it was evident whenever, look, John Gruden's not dumb. And he's not so out of touch that he didn't know if he wanted to keep a Khalil Mack. You pick up the phone. You make a call. The fact that he never picked up the phone to call him, and there's reports that Khalil Mack made calls, by the way. And then on top of that, you have, the comments like, the defense wasn't good with him here. We should have read the tea leaves. If you're going to move on from a Khalil Mack, you are in the process of tearing this thing down. Khalil Mack's not 30, ladies and gentlemen. He's not into his third or fourth contract. He hasn't bounced around the league. Okay?
Right.
No different than Amari Cooper going for a first-round pick who's been a two-time Pro Bowler, who's 24 years old. And, oh, by the way, he's on his rookie contract still, and we're going to move him on down the line.
Right.
And I get it. He doesn't want to win. And maybe some of that is, well, I don't want to win with somebody else's team, a la what I did with the Bucs, and I've had to carry that. Maybe should have been a little bit more upfront about that. But that's fine. You have all the picks in the world. We know that's somewhat of a educated guess when it comes to the draft, but you have the ammunition to go get whatever you want, per se, over the next two drafts.
Yep.
But once you do get that, and you get that in there, and you're in Vegas, the free agents might not line up quite as quickly for you with all that cap space to come play for you that you want. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, this is kind of like I was trying to allude what I was alluding to on the Friday preview show. This thing, man. There's a certain amount of layers that takes for, as much as teams want players, players and their agents, and we've talked about, and you just mentioned, players communicate with other players. Now there's just those extra 2 layers now that a player and his agent are going to investigate now about coming to your organization. Now, how did you treat people? Hey, look, you didn't do yourself any favors by cutting Khalil Mack because people thought you were stupid. And then you didn't do yourself any favors today by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie retiring. Because if you could watch that Twitter feed today with DRC retiring, there's a lot of, wow. There's a lot of, y'all lost a real one. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, this guy was a great player, but he was even better man type deal. When you start doing that to tenured vets in this league, in the name of we're trying to build something here, and no one's seeing it, and hey, we're not seeing it yet because you haven't gotten to make those moves. But when you make those moves, like I said, for the amount of money that they're paying him and the number of picks that you have, you better hit. None of them darts better fly off the dartboard, because if they don't hit bullseyes or something really, really close to it, your reputation as a coach, a person, a team, done.
Mm-hmm. Okay, man, at the end of the day, he's rolling the dice.
Yep.
You better hope it don't come up snake eyes.
No, man. And look, I'm not the guy that's out here talking about, look at what happened to such and such team. Ha, ha, ha. I'm not that guy. I'm a fan of this game. I watch this game forever. And I don't like to see no teams doing bad, unless it's the Cowboys when we got to face them as the Giants. That's the only time. I like to see guys like Des Bryant succeed. I like to see guys like Patrick Mahomes, who I watched since college, and his last year of high school. I like to see those stories and watch people succeed. I like to see guys like Odell pulling off the stats he pulled off in the first 3 seasons of his career and get his money. I like to see guys like Aaron Donald with the motor that never stops get their money. And then you get organizations like this making the moves that they make, and they don't care. And taxpayer dollars are used to build new stadiums, move teams, build new parking lots, and then they turn around and charge you $12 for a cup of beer, and we just supposed to swallow that while an inferior product is on the field? Nah, I'm not a fan of that. Not even close.
And you got the Raiders leaving the Bay.
Exactly. That's what I said. That's what I was telling you last week, man.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, man. It's ugly. But, hey, man, we ain't soap opera box type guys, man. We'll move on.
No. It is what it is.
Yeah,
but,
ugh. Definitely.
Oh, man.
What you got? What you got, man? What you need to talk about?
Man,
how you feel about them Cowboys coming up next week? What you feel?
Oh,
we're gonna talk about that move. I'm gonna talk about that coaching move.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna stay on course here. We're at home, so we're scheduled to win.
You're scheduled to win, right?
I mean, yeah, we've won at home. We haven't been able to win on the road, so we're at home. we should win. That's kind of the way it goes. I will be closely paying attention. This is a little nugget I was going to keep for the Friday show, but I'll drop this one. Closely paying attention to, everyone had bet that, we fired the offensive line coach. There's a couple layers to that.
Okay. Yeah, man, I wanted you to talk about that, definitely.
Yeah, whenever they made the move this offseason to go in a different direction with the offensive line coach, the players wanted Mark Colombo, who, if you don't know, was in Chicago, then obviously played some seasons for us here in Dallas, did pretty well, and he's been on the coaching staff moving his way up. All right. Jason Garrett decided he wanted to go get Paul Alexander out of Cincinnati. It's a different philosophy than what we've had in Dallas for X amount of years now. Well, really, especially since Garrett's been here, and I'd be willing to bet even before that. Paul Alexander likes for you to give ground, let it come to you, and then punch. Maybe why the running game hasn't been so good. Maybe why our rookie left guard is kind of getting bulldozered because he's on his heels. Basically your offensive line is on its heels because you're snapping, giving ground, and then reacting. What we have been is we lean on you, and it's a zone blocking scheme per se, but it's a zone blocking scheme of what's in front of me. This is in front of me. Snap, boom, I'm going to go hit it.
Right.
Okay. We're not worried about the twist knee and all this other. No. It's in front of me. I see it snap, and we're leaning, and we're going forward, and we'll let Zeke figure out where the hole is per se and find it and go.
Yeah, you're committing to one defender and whatever falls by the wayside and whatever gap.
And then if you get that guy
somebody else's responsibility
to the side, then you're up to the next level. And that's, the things that we've talked about is we haven't been blocking the Mike linebacker all year. Well, yeah, because we're not going to the next level per se.
Well, heck, what we were talking about a few weeks ago, between you and I don't think we talked about it on the show, but what we were talking about, identifying the mic, like we're not doing that now on O.
Right. Yeah, and killing us. So
and that was, I think, actually to add to that, like that was one of those things where I think I said, like, identifying the mic should be stupid easy. Now with all the technology, the audio technology we have in the NFL, you hear, snap counts during these games and the cadences for some of these QBs. Why are we not hearing the Mike linebacker being identified?
Which Dak would call it. Right. But again, with the scheme of we're giving ground and then reacting,
the old linemen aren't committing at all to the
right. Yeah. It's kind of hard for you to get to the next level to go pick up that mic all of a sudden,
right?
So he's getting free,
right?
So come Monday night, the one thing I'm definitely going to pay attention to is I'm more than willing to bet now that they have their guy, it's going to go back to the way it was, and these guys are going to fire off the ball and attack the defensive line instead of being reactive. We're going to be proactive,
right?
And we'll see how that ends up and see if that makes a big change or not. But it's indicative of Garrett, because why did you hire Paul Alexander's his hire? Now, great, cool. You decided, 7 games in, we're going to change it, and you flew out to L.A. to go get Hudson Hawk for his third stint with the Cowboys in an advisory role and everything, and promote Colombo, which the line wanted to begin with, which says a lot because the line's probably going to play harder for him because they want him. But why did you hire him? Why didn't you just do it in the very beginning? It's just one of those head scratchers. And then, the other thing, too, is whenever you don't have – you go get Amari Cooper. That takes pressure off of the coaching staff, because if you don't have weapons, right, it's up to the coaching staff to scheme guys open. And what we've learned over the first 7 weeks is they don't scheme guys open very well. So now when Amari Cooper lines up out there, well, guess what? He's going to get the attention of the number one cornerback, which now – the second cornerback goes over here, which now Cole Beasley in the slot. Well, now he'll end up with a third cornerback or a linebacker shell, per se. And now he'll be open more. So if this offense takes off all of a sudden, it's not because Scott Linehan's scheming all of a sudden. It's because you went back to what actually worked for you, which we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I told you, man, I was like, hey, man, this guy as our offensive line coach is a problem. We changed that, so we'll fire off on the ball. And then now, as far as the passing game goes, yeah, it's not schematically. It's because you got Amari Cooper over there that's going to draw the attention, which you could have had that still if you would have just kept. Well, I guess maybe you couldn't, because towards the end of last year, people wasn't giving that quite the same attention to this. I get it. Towards the end of last year, that attention wasn't paid quite as much, but of course Zeke was missing time. But I believe if Dez would have been here, you still would have had that attention drawn over there, and maybe things went a little bit smoother. Shout out to them for understanding they needed to get a wide receiver, and the committee thing wasn't going to work because they don't scheme. And shout out to figuring out, hey, with this offensive line, let's go back to what works and firing off the ball. But again, if this offense takes off and starts doing the things that we've seen them do in previous years, just know it's not so much Scott Linehan. It's just going back and let the offensive line do what they're supposed to do. And you got a guy on the outside that now dictates that you can't put 9 in the box, or you have to rotate coverage over that would let other guys be open.
Yeah, I mean, Amari's a weapon, bro. He does
that
a lot.
4-4 speed, no joke.
Yeah, he does a lot. I mean, honestly, I don't even think they utilized him in Oakland very well. I mean, Amari does a lot. I know it's a long time since people seen him play at Alabama, but Amari does a lot, man. He can do a lot for your game. But we'll see. We'll see how Dallas handles their new secret weapon.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what you got on deck for the rest of the week, man?
Well, we need to talk about the programming first. So, I mean, the programming for this week is Knicks and 6.
Thursday.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to do that. And then maybe Friday we look to go live for the Friday preview show. Maybe
a little live.
And you're definitely going to put some clothes on, because you showing up here with the half a plastic bag over your shoulder and your arms sticking out. We can't have that when we're doing the show.
What you talking about, cuz? Watch how you hold me.
You get that tank top right there. I see you over there. Start calling you Debo.
I'm comfy.
I see you. Yeah, just make sure you're wearing some clothes, bro. I don't need to see all that extra ham hock you got on that shoulder right there. I don't need all that.
Boy, stop. Watch how you hold me, cuz. You see that?
That's the way you, man. Now, we got the Knicks at 6 on Thursday.
6 o'clock. We'll be going live.
6 p.m. your time, yeah. And
then, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. We'll run that, and then Friday we'll run the preview show. Probably trying to look to go live, and if we don't, I mean, we'll put one in the can and go ahead and upload that for you guys. And
we're going live. Done deal. Done deal.
We're going live because I said we're going live, not because you said.
Stop it. Stop it. I've been trying to get you to go live for like weeks.
No. Let's stop that right there. Look, if I don't want to go live, we already know I'm not going live. We're going live because I'm trying to kowtow to your request from weeks ago.
Thank you.
Now the following week, we probably won't go live because I just won't feel like it. I already gave you your little wish.
Oh, you're such a diva.
Yeah, I'll be that. What does Terry call me?
Wifey calls you a pretty princess.
Pretty princess. Yeah, that's me. I'm good with that. I think I'm going to change my gamer tag to that now that she said it.
I swear if you do. I swear. I'm going to be rolling.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, man.
What you got on deck, bro? Let me know what's up.
I know, man, between now and then, on that Red Dead Redemption 2, for sure.
Yeah.
Besides the gym work, back in the gym now, finally, after everything that was going on. So I'm excited about that.
How you feel right now? You at 100% yet?
Man, hundo. I'm back to that hundo, baby. Yeah, I'm all the way back.
Yeah.
All the way back. Feeling awesome about that.
Don't put yourself too hard on the way back there.
No. Just some light free weights and some cardio is what I'm going to start with.
All right.
See how I feel and just kind of ramp it up from there. But yeah, feeling awesome. Like I said, if you're not playing Red Dead Redemption 2,
I'm gonna have to spend my time with Black Ops because there's just things that I do within that game. So like, you know, I usually master prestige and I get all the camos for all the weapons. So that'll take a little grip.
Hey man, and the new game modes they have as well, in the multiplayer, super fun on the Black Ops 4.
Yeah, they also have some content that you can get in the marketplace, the black market. And it's like up to level 200, but you don't have to buy it. It's all free.
Right.
So I mean, as you play, you know, you'll unlock certain weapons, you know, stuff for like emblems and things like that. That you normally you'd be paying hell to get, or you know, you'd have to pay some money to get.
RNG.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
But I can't wait to get on Red Dead. I'm probably looking to aim to get Red Dead maybe when MS has that sale, during the holiday,
sure.
and I'll probably pick it up then and then start my quest for that.
Indeed.
Yeah. What else,
I guess
man? That's it?
Man, that's it, man. That's it. I think that'll pretty much wrap up.
Like we went for like an hour, and not really
episode
an hour and 40 something.
Word.
Yeah. So did pretty good.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to have you back for more than a little bit of time.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. Ready to get back on and get rolling. Yeah. Trade deadline, man. Awesome stuff, man. Yeah. I dig it. Definitely we'll see more that we'll definitely see that trending that way more so.
Yeah. Some shout outs, man. Like shout out to the Denver Broncos contingent out there, Joaquin and Jermaine Hollywood out there. We see you people. Appreciate your contribution to the page. Also, shout out to the Wolverine fans out there, Jermaine again and Stephanie Lynn, Michigan. She's a
killer.
She's definitely a Michigan fan for sure.
Man, I'm telling you,
I might block her if she posts one more thing about Michigan.
I'm just waiting for the Michigan fans to say they want Bama, and I can't wait. And whenever it happens, I know it's going to happen sooner or later in this group. And when it does, I'm just going to sit back, pour me a drink, find me a stogie, and just watch.
Yeah. Hey, I want them. I want Michigan. I do.
Oh,
just because of the coaching matchup, and I think it would be a fair matchup. Now, as far as execution goes, I mean, I hope Michigan's up to the task. I mean, that's all I could say.
Yeah.
But that's way ahead of the curve now.
Yeah.
We
got some
talk
away. You got LSU.
I'm definitely concerned about LSU right now. I'm not going to lie to you. Like that's as much as the cupcakes, that we play. I definitely am concerned about LSU. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we take a L that game. Wouldn't be surprised.
That you. I know what you're doing there. You're slow playing your hand. I like that.
No, I'm not slow playing my hand.
Slow play.
Actually,
I got you.
Actually, it may work out to our benefit to lose to LSU at this stage. May work out. Well, maybe shuffle up the order a little bit. All of a sudden, we win the rest of the games, and we come in at number 4.
Yeah, and then everyone's going to complain because y'all lost the game and you got in, and you love it.
Hey, look, and in that case, you know what? I think we're going to hammer LSU this weekend now because God forbid we were to lose one in that UCF school that's so much better than everyone else in college football.
Sir, they're national champs. They're the reigning national champs.
My goodness, those UCF, boy, let me tell you what, those Knights, they are something special. Love them. Love them. Anyhow, I think that's it, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Yes, sir.
And Nix and Messiah, man, deep in the huddle. We're out.